the one thing you look at is when it was time, when it was 10 points down in the fourth quarter, you watch them play on the defensive side of the ball, and they changed their program. They basically said, hey, listen, we're going to bring pressure on every single play. We're going to play man coverage behind it. And can you beat us? A quarterback, Bortles, can you beat us? Because they quit giving up all those flat, all the flat throws, and they quit giving up the screen passes. They brought pressure on every single play just about, and they said, are you good enough at the quarterback position to beat us? And ultimately, not only was he not good enough, but the team got a little bit conservative. They got a little bit scared. They get that turnover late by Miles Jack, strips the ball, and what do? Running play, incomplete pass, 7-yard gain, punt. And those are the things to me, you're looking at your quarterback in that situation saying, we don't trust you, so let's run a dive play on first down. That's when you open it up. That's when you run a play action. That's when you say, it's in your hands, quarterback.
Right, to win the game.
Right. Go win this game for us. Go get us a first down. Go eat up this clock. There's 13 minutes left in this game. And they just went conservative. They got afraid. And the Patriots just kept bringing pressure.
And on 4 straight drives with the lead in the fourth quarter, they ran the ball on first down and then threw deep on second down. Threw it at least 15 yards through. It was a bizarre. It was really odd what Jacksonville was doing. They were uber conservative on first down. They were in shotgun running it. They never gained more than 2 yards on those plays. And then on second down, they went totally the other way, which the deep passes, they only completed one of them, I believe. It doesn't allow you to keep the clock running. It doesn't allow you to get in third and manageable. Right. And that's why they were in third and long throughout their comeback attempt.
But CC will tell you, when everybody presses you and they get right on you, it takes away all the short routes. It takes away all those routes. So you've got to throw an intermediate.
But you don't have to
get
run
over
it on
the top.
first down every play.
Now that I totally.
Okay, so what should they have done on first down?
Cece, I'm not. I understand. I know what you're.
No,
where
you
you're
don't.
Going here.
Because I don't know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
But,
the point that I am not trying to say Doug Marrone or Nathaniel Hackett blew this game for the Jaguars. What I am saying is what they shouldn't have done is the same thing 4 consecutive drives. What you can't do against the Patriots is on 4 consecutive drives, we're going to line up in shotgun, run it up the middle on first down, and then on second down on 4 consecutive drives, after we run it up the middle on first down, take a deep shot. You've got to have some variance to your offense. They maybe lose anyway, but it wasn't good from a clock management perspective, and it wasn't good from a catching the Patriots off guard perspective.
One of the incompletions that Jacksonville threw in that fourth quarter, they motion a receiver across the formation. Cornerback goes with him, which is a clear indicator of man. And what happens? That cornerback goes all the way with that receiver. That receiver gets to the middle of the field, about the slot position. That corner comes, safety rolls over the top to cover it. I mean, stuff like that. And Bortles, nobody expects it. Bortles sees it. He throws it out of bounds. And it's one of those blitzes that doesn't get home. It's one of those blitzes that nobody sees. But it was one of those blitzes that created an incomplete pass and eventually created a punt and another possession for the New England Patriots.
So when the question is, how are the Patriots so good at the comebacks? Is it that they recognize who their opponent is and the weakness in them, that maybe they're going to start playing conservative? They know when they're going to button up. They know when they don't have confidence in their quarterback. Is it what the Jaguars didn't do, or is it the fact that this Patriots team understands and knows how to mount these comebacks?
Well, the number one thing is we can't lose perspective. Nick, all season you were saying Jacksonville is a great football team with a bad quarterback. So you can't get an AFC championship and forget your analysis for the whole season. That's still Blake Bortles. Even though you do have a lead, it's Blake Bortles. And we got several years of film. And forget the last 3 weeks, how he looked. We have all that. The biggest problem is the same problem that Atlanta has and other teams have. Most teams, when they're playing New England, they don't prepare to have the lead late. Now, if you knew they were going to be blitzing, put both receivers on one side. Put Mercedes Lewis on the other side for protection. Do a 7-man protection and run a 2-man route because you know they're playing man. On first down, block them up and take a shot at them. So for me, the reason why I asked, okay, what would we run? Because through all the years I've been with offensive coordinators, and I had that question asked to me. What should we run, Cris? Compared to me saying, hey, let's throw the ball. I'd be like, no, coach, they're coming 4 week. All right? Let's put Randy and I on one side. Let's go max protection, and let's test their oil. Let's see what they got. Let's go win this game right now. Atlanta didn't have that game plan the second half of the Super Bowl when New England started blitzing them. Jacksonville did not have a change of pace. New England has a plan A, plan B, a plan A plus an addendum to it, plan B, an addendum to that plan. And the other teams don't have a backup plan. Forget the 4-minute, let's milk the clock. How are we going to win the game late when we're up in New England? They're going to play man-to-man, throw the ball down the field, and make them defend the long pass. Their cornerbacks, they're not that good. Malcolm Butler, I think, has the highest percentage of completions against him of all the cornerbacks in the playoffs. Let's go with him. Stephon Gilmore, yeah, they went at him at fourth down. He hadn't had no great season. So the reason why these things don't happen is because there was not a plan by Jacksonville. What am I going to do? You sat there, you talked trash all week. What are you going to do when you have the lead? Oh, we're going to get conservative. Oh, man, we're going to try to get to the bus. Oh, no, and that's how you lose the game, because New England gets aggressive, not only defensively. Look at their game plan offensively. They put the ball in Tom Brady's hand, and that's the result. That's how you see New England come back against teams on a regular basis.
You look at the adjustment on the offensive side of the ball. So what have they done, New England being their whole season? They have thrown it underneath, thrown it to the backs in the flat. That's what they do, right? Every ball is out of Tom Brady's hands in about 1.8 seconds. That's about the length of time. He reads it, bam, to the back, underneath. They couldn't do that. Jacksonville was so fast, especially the linebacker position, getting to the flats and tackling, and they did such a great job of tackling. They're always in second down and 9. And what do they do in that fourth quarter? What do they do in that second half? Man, they start protecting, and they start pushing the ball down the football field on the sidelines, taking advantage of Boye, who was given a huge cushion on the sideline, down 15 yards, 11 yards, big crossing routes, deep crosses that take time. They blocked them up, and they started pushing the ball down the field, which was it's not what the Patriots normally do, but they had an adjustment to what was going on within that underneath coverage. They did a great job, and Brady recognized it. The coaching staff recognized it. They start pushing the ball down the field.
The other thing the Patriots seem to have, and we've seen it in some of these comebacks in the big spots late, is a couple trick plays that they do not run in a game all year. I didn't see that double pass run by them once all season. I think I saw them use that flea flicker only once all season.
I mean, those are plays that you can only use, and the only reason why New England does is when they get desperate.
Right.
That lets you know. As a team, when they start doing things like that, you know they're desperate, and you have them where you want them.
And this is the advantage they have, in my eyes, of being so consistent and great throughout the regular season. They were never desperate during the regular season. They were able to save their break glass in case of emergency plays for a spot where now Jacksonville hasn't seen it on film all year. It's not something that they had to use in Week 5 against the Panthers. Like, even though they lost that game, they have those things in their back pocket, and I feel like we saw those in the Super Bowl a few years ago. We saw, was it Edelman throw a touchdown pass? Like, again, we've seen they have this reserve of plays that I don't think other teams.
But they don't see. This is why they're better than you. This is why they're smarter than you. Is because they don't use them unless they're desperate, to have that much passion for it without ever being sated by it.
Wait, Stink, what does that mean? What does that mean to commit your life to it, that it's not a job? Like, what are the things that Tom Brady does that other quarterbacks in the league aren't doing?
He wakes up, and it's all about, what am I going to do today to be the best quarterback that I can be for this organization? And that means diet. That means exercise. That means, hydration. That means,
oxygen tanks.
Right. I mean,
pajamas.
it's everything. It is everything that he does in his life points to how am I going to have success on Sundays. And I've always said, Sundays aren't the problem. Like, I'll line up right now on a Sunday.
I could have played Sunday.
Right.
He wanted to play Sunday.
Right. It's Monday through Saturday that's the problem. Like, you get to a point somewhere in your career, you're like, man, I don't want to prepare anymore. No. If I could just show up on Sundays, that'd be great. But I don't want to go through the grind, the grind of preparing to get to Sunday. And he still eats that grind for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, we played 98 years in the National Football League. And in every decade, there have been quarterbacks or a quarterback that if they were writing a book from the beginning, you know, Sammy Ball and some of these other great quarterbacks that we might have read about, some of our audience might not know about, but there were quarterbacks before Tom Brady. There were great quarterbacks before Tom Brady. And then even after Sammy Ball, and then we got into Bart Starr, Johnny Unitas, and then we got into the era, the modern era, where guys are throwing the ball, the Marinos, the Elways, all these guys. Tom Brady took the book on quarterback, and what he's done is he's added a few more chapters. Now, we have to be careful when we talk about Tom, because there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that this is their life. Drew Brees, Matty Ice, Peyton Manning, like all these quarterbacks had an unbelievable regimen. But the book, as far as a quarterback, the one that Sammy Ball and all these others started, Tom Brady has added volumes to it like no other quarterback. Y'all can have the conversation, who's the greatest. But I'm just telling you, when you look at the book and you read it on quarterbacks, Tom Brady has added all these chapters to the end that if you want to know about quarterbacks, you need to know about Tom Brady and what he's done. Peyton Manning, the no huddle. He added to the quarterback position in the book of quarterback. But what Tom Brady has done as far as postseason play, under pressure, a training regimen. I want to play until I'm 45. Those are all new chapters that he's added to an unbelievable book that we have called NFL History of the Quarterback.
And Cece, you mentioned the decade-by-decade quarterbacks, starting with Sammy Ball, Johnny Unitas, Bart Starr. Like in the 70s, it probably would have been Bradshaw. We could argue about it. In the 80s, it's probably Montana. Some would argue Marino, but because the rings probably goes to Montana. In the 90s, I would say Troy Aikman. Some people might say Steve Young, but we could argue about it. You know who it is in the 2000s? From 2001 to 2010? It's Tom Brady. And you know what it is for 2011 to 2020? It's Tom Brady again. Since Tom Brady came into the league, I would say the four best throwers of the football that he has been in the league at the same time as, in no order, are Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning. Those are the four best other quarterbacks who have played in the same era as Brady, right? Had some overlap with Favre. Those four guys made a combined 8 Super Bowls. Peyton, Brees, Rodgers, and Favre. A combined 8 Super Bowls. And those are first ballot, no doubt guys. He's about to play in his 8th. I don't think you can be hyperbolic with this guy. And I don't think you can overstate how impressive it is, the reinvention he's gone through from the early stage to what he was in the late 20 aughts, like the 07 to 11 phase, and then the reinvention the last 4 years, which is this all of amazing, like, clutch maven that we had never seen before.
And we've seen a marriage. We saw Chuck Knowles. We saw him with Terry Bradshaw. We saw even the great Tom Landry. We saw him with Roger Staubach. You know, Johnny Unitas. We could talk about them, but we never saw a marriage with the depth and the length of Tom Brady and Belichick. And to me, with Tom Brady, he surrendered because his boss is the driving force to push him. Every day Tom Brady shows up, he realizes, man, that guy can get rid of me. Right. That guy would cut my career short. And realizing the difference, most of these quarterbacks, they are the franchise at some point. At Tom Brady, he will never be the franchise. And I believe that has motivated him and will continue to drive him to greater success. I believe Tom Brady will win 7 Super Bowls before he retires. I believe it's that easy. Look at who he got. He beat Marcus Mariota, and he beat Blake Bortles to get to the Super Bowl.
To get to Nick Foles.
I don't see a whole bunch of quarterbacks and everything over the next 3 years that's going to be able to stop him from going to a couple more Super Bowls.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.